back to Love Your Food. This week we have another simple but really excellent recipe that we know you're going to love. This is duck fat fried potatoes. Now, this one takes a little bit of prep work, and you do want to start this a little earlier in the day because we're not just dropping raw potatoes into duck fat for this one. They take a little bit of prep. So let's get going with the ingredients. We have these nice little baby potatoes. We have some duck fat. You can see this here. We have a lot of garlic chives in our garden right now, so we're just going to use that for a little bit of garnish, and a little bit of salt. So we're going to start by boiling our potatoes. So the salt and the potatoes are going to go into the pot here. So this can go in whole. If you notice that they're extremely dirty or anything like that, you can give them a little scrub first, but we're just going to fill that up with water and put the heat on. And we're going to give that a quick cover and let those potatoes cook. So once they have reached the rolling boil, you do want to check every so often just to make sure that they're still cooking. They're not done yet. So these are still a little hard. We are going to cover those up again and let them cook a little bit longer. So now they are about right, so we are going to drain and shock these. Now we're not, once again, we're not going to go straight from the hot water into duck fat yet. We are going to actually get these nice and cold first. So we're going to, first we're going to drain them. Make sure they're good and drained. And then we are going to get some cold water over them right away. We do want them chilled, so we're going to get them nice and chilled in some cold water. We're going to put them back in the pot. So we're just going to rinse that out, make sure that we get all the salt and everything out of there. And then we're just going to run cold water over these for a little while until they are thoroughly cooled. Once they are, we are going to drain them once more. And we're going to put them in a plate. And uncovered, we're just going to put that in the fridge. So these have been refrigerated for a little while. They are good and cold. They've been boiled once, and they are now chilled. So the texture has changed quite significantly in them. The chilling is very important. And they're small, so we're just going to cut these into quarters. We're just going to have them and then have them again. If you have bigger potatoes, you can always cut them into more pieces, of course, whatever size you like for this. And now, the main event, we are going to start with our duck fat. You can get these at most nicer grocery stores. I know I have seen it at places like Costco as well, so you should be able to find this. It's not too difficult to find. But this is, in particular, a very highly polyunsaturated fat, and for this sort of frying, it really has a great effect on what you're using it on. So you can even use this to make the outside of something like a sweet potato crispy as well, which is a little harder to do, but it really makes the outside very crispy. And if you've done the boiling, you've parboiled them, you've refrigerated them, the inside's going to be really, really fluffy, and the outside's going to be beautiful and crispy brown. So you can see here we've got our duck fat quite hot. Now we're using the entire container that you saw there. So this is almost like a deep fry that we're doing at this point. And we're just going to get all of those potatoes in there. And you can see them really, really just frying away in that hot duck fat. Now you don't want to season it yet. Salt will actually denature the oil. So every so often, you want to make sure that nothing's burning and that they are browning. You can see some of them browning already. So we're just going to very gently, now they have been cooked once, remember, so we want to be kind of gentle with them. Just gently give them a little turn. You want to make sure that some of the ones on the outside are moving into the middle where it's hotter, depending on how the heat on your element works. You just want to move them from the hot areas to the cooler, and the cooler to the hotter, just to make sure they're cooking pretty evenly. And it's a little too hot to get my camera too close to. It's going to fog up my lens. Here you see they are really cooking now. Just gently give them a little move. You want to make sure that the sides that are still really pale are getting a little bit of color, so they're going to want to be down into the oil where they're going to get a little bit more color to them. Now, we have a lot of garlic chives. They came up on their own this year. So we have way too many in our garden. We didn't have to replant them; they replanted themselves. So we're looking for ways to use them. But fortunately, this is a great way. They make a beautiful garnish on this dish. So we are very happy to be able to use them here. So once they're nice and brown, you're going to want to put them onto some paper towel or something else that's going to let the oil wick away a little bit, because they do tend to hold a little bit of that duck fat. Now, most of your duck fat is going to stay in the pan, and you can reuse this. It's absolutely perfectly fine to reuse it. Once those are out of the pan, very quickly while they're still hot, we're going to want to salt it, which you just saw Chef Caleb do. A little bit of black pepper. And we're also going to add our garlic chives that we've chopped up. And then again, because they are a little bit delicate, we want to just gently give them a little toss with our tongs. And that'll move the seasonings around a little bit, get all the ones that were on top a little bit underneath, and it won't hurt to give another quick little sprinkle of our kosher salt on top, just to get everything nice and seasoned a little more evenly. And that's it. That's the whole recipe. These are absolutely delicious. They are wonderful and fluffy on the inside, beautiful, crispy, and golden brown on the outside. Really easy and fantastic. Goes with grilled dishes or anything like that. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.